Hello, Life Sprout friends. Welcome back to another thought of the week. So last week we talked about how stress doesn't just live in your mind, it also lives in your body, and our bodies can get stuck in a baseline where it thinks that it's always stressed, or our baseline is just like, hey, I'm stressed out, literally all the time. So the question then is, what do we do about it, right? There's lots of, there's all these adaptogenic drinks and like all this stuff out there now that are these outside in ways of dealing with stress. I'll be honest, a lot of that stuff is not really going to reset your stress baseline. And I went on a whole journey for myself trying to figure this out because I was one of those people, I talk to a lot of us all the time, that I got a wearable, I have an Oura ring, and I realized that my heart rate variability, which is one of the signals about how your body's handling stress, mine sucked, like really bad. It was not where it was supposed to be at all. And so I went on this mission of trying to figure out, like, how do I impact that? And what I'm going to teach you today, I told you I was going to teach you something that you could start to do to implement, to impact this for yourself. And you can do this. You can teach your kids to do this. Anybody can do this anytime. I don't care how busy you are or how much you don't think you have time for self-care stuff in your life. You can do this, right? All it takes is maybe 3 to 5 minutes a day where you intentionally engage in what I'm going to introduce you to, which is the quick coherence technique. And this is something I've learned through HeartMath, where I have 2 certifications, and honestly I'll probably end up getting more because I just love the HeartMath approach to things. They've done tons of research on things like heart rate variability and coherence in our body, which coherence is when your heart, your brain, and your gut, which all have huge amounts of nerves and neural plexuses connected to them, when they're all in sync. And when that happens, our bodies work. And guess what? We reset our stress baseline. So one of the courses I took talked a big game about how you could actually reset your heart rate variability, your resilience, and your baseline of when your body decides it's stressed out or not, just through this technique and doing it consistently. They said for 6 weeks. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I did it for 3 days in a row, and I woke up the 3rd day or the 4th day, and my heart rate variability was up where it was supposed to be for someone my age, which is in like the 40s to 50s. I was in the low 20s, if even that, daily, all the time for like years. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. So this is now something that I do consistently throughout my day. It's just part of my routine now. It's like brushing my teeth. So what is quick coherence technique, Dr. Alex? Well, here we go. So I think I've introduced heart focused breathing, but you start there. So I always have to touch my heart because I live in my head. But you put a hand over your heart and you start to breathe a little more slowly and a little more deeply than normal. And you just kind of sink into that. And while you're doing this, this is the coherence part. You want to bring to mind something that makes you feel joy, compassion, love, gratitude. It can be a song, it can be a picture. We talked about the positivity portfolio. If you missed that, it's in these thoughts of the weeks somewhere. I'll try to put a link below this one. Your pet. I had a friend draw a cat for me earlier this week, and I left it there because it relates to what we're talking about this week. So you just want to picture that in your mind, or have a picture you can look at, or maybe you turn on the song while you're doing this so that you stay in that place for at least, you can start with 1 minute. Honestly, you can start with 30 seconds. Just start somewhere, right? And ideally, you get to where you do that for 5 to 10 minutes twice a day. That's it. And just see what starts to happen in your body. I guarantee it will start to change your stress baseline. If you don't have a wearable, that's fine. If you have one, be really interested in what starts to shift and what starts to show up in that, because all it takes is this. So I've done this. I've had clients and patients do this. Now it's your turn. I'd love to hear how this goes. If you decide to take this on this week, what happens? What changes? What does your experience of life shift into? And remember, connect to the heart, breathe a little more slowly, a little more deeply, and bring up something that makes you feel love, joy, compassion, gratitude, any of those heart-based emotions. And just stay there for anywhere from 30 seconds to 5 minutes. Let's see what happens. All right, we'll see you next week. Bye.